morning everybody. Sorry for this podcast-like video, but I've been having trouble with microphones. I've been out twice to do an update. Both the times the video has been ruined by the lack of, well, sound from the microphone. Plenty of sound from the GoPro, but it's just useless. So where are we at with Webley? Well, I think I forgot a few things. I may have repeated myself a few times. The first thing, I think I forgot to mention that the speedo drive, the sensor for that failed. I may have mentioned that it failed, but it has been repaired. I have been waiting for parts for an oil leak down the left side crankcase cover, they call it the alternator cover, through the gasket. Not a bad one, but I've been waiting since I think it was before December. So I gave it, I think, until February, back end of February, and I bought the parts myself from Hitchcock's. Didn't cost a lot. I know, yes, the bike is under warranty, but Webley being second in line of usefulness really after the Land Rover. Now anyway, we got the oil leak parts, and I bought extra parts anyway, anything that could possibly leak on that side, I bought them all. I'd already had the oil leaks on between the top of the head and the, I think they call it the engine top cover. Most of us would call it a rocker cover. Unfortunately, even though I had those fixed, it's only lasted about 180 miles, and the leak between the top of the head and the rocker cover, that is worse than before. It's not an absolute gusher, it's the same area around about the recess or above the recess for the spark plug, and down below, although it's not leaking through the gasket now, it's leaking through one of the bolts. Now yes, it might be a bolt that's loose, but I think that's very unlikely, and it's getting annoying. It's not at the Land Rover level yet, and it's certainly not at the Triumph Daytona T595 level, which is the worst anything could possibly be. It is literally a chocolate teapot. It gets hot and it leaks. I've put this on my Facebook page, a couple of Facebook pages. I've had a couple of replies, two from India, one suggesting most of the things already on my list, and that list is quite extensive after a bit of a brainstorming session. I mean, without going through it all, is there too much oil? Well, not to my knowledge, and I check it quite often, not every trip, but I check it quite often. Any ideas will be gratefully received. It could be something like the mating faces on the parts of the head and the rocker top cover being damaged or not true, but it's unlikely. It's the second one it's had on, both of them, because they come in pairs. Could it be breathing issues? Well, it has been checked. They pulled off the breather pipe and it seemed okay. It was only like a field test on the day when I took it in a few days ago, just to show them the leaks, because she is booked in for Tuesday, which might be today if I get this out on time, for the valve clearance check, the tappet adjustment, because of the new head, which I had to do another 300 miles, and we're at that now. But the leaks come on, well, they were noticed after about 180 miles, I think, roughly that. So it's a pain, to be honest. Hopefully gonna get it fixed, because I'm getting towards that stage of, as far as I know, I can hand the bike back. It's still under warranty. I think I can hand the bike back. Do I want another one? Well, they're great in general. Those of you who've hopefully watched all these videos, you realise I do like them. They handle quite well for what they are. They're not too heavy. They're handy off-road if you know what you're doing, and to be honest, on two wheels I really don't. Not so much as four wheels anyway. When I took it in to show them the oil leaks a few days back, there was a Royal Enfield rep there. Now, whether my, I'll be honest, artificially raised voice of if I wanted a Royal Enfield that leaked oil all the time, I'd have bought one made in Redditch. Whether that made a difference, I don't know, but we ended up having a chat, and it was an interesting chat actually, not just about Himalayans and Webley, about Interceptors, the new Riders Club, which ain't really relevant to this video series, but just to point out, they are having issues with the Riders Club registration. It is getting better, keep trying. There are more branches than it said, well, at least about a month, no, when was it? 1st of April, wasn't it? So a couple of weeks ago or so, nearly 3 weeks ago. Basically, I think for the most part, your local or nearest branch will be your local or nearest dealer. The dealer has to authorise you, and that's why they need a VIN number. And there's also gifts for, I don't know for how long or for how many, but there are gifts available for those that register I presume up to a certain point, certain numbers or a certain date, I don't know. But keep trying that. We had a good interesting chat about Webley, and apparently Webley is the only one like it with these oil leaks. I'm not making it up, the oil leaks are there, as you have seen in the photographs. It's getting more niggly because it's actually, having this new head on has brought home to me really, is the service intervals are just not long enough on a Himalayan. It's approximately twice as much at 3,000 miles as say a Bullet or my Continental GT 535 Smelly. But it's not enough. For the type of bike it is, okay, it's not as fast as other adventure bikes, you know, for obvious reasons. It's fairly small capacity, it's fairly low brake horsepower. It will do just about everything that a big adventure bike will do, but not as fast. And in some ways it'll do it better because it's lighter. But 3,000 miles is not enough, and it's having this head change that's made me realise this. On that bike, and with having several bikes, it ain't so much of an issue for me. But if it was your only bike, it could be irritating. It'd be nice if they could add 1,000 miles on the Himalayan. 2,000 to make it a 5,000 mile interval would be great. But as I say, having this head on now, this new head, and having to do another 300 miles, and having to take it back again, yet it's going to have another check in about 1,500 miles from now for its next service at 6,000 miles. The first thing I think to look at after spreading the word on social media, a couple of replies, one chap from India, 3 times now he's had his resealed. I think this would be my 3rd or 4th time. In my quest for information, I haven't gone down the dig out a Haynes manual for something else and see what it says in the troubleshooting bit. Not yet anyway, but I did contact Hitchcock's and they got back to me in less than half an hour, which was great considering I emailed them late on a Friday afternoon. They don't open on weekends, so I was expecting a reply, you know, say halfway through the following week, but they got back to me really quick, so thanks for that, great. After posing obviously in the email, sent to them the situation. First thing, this is not a common issue that they've heard of or seen themselves. Bottom line was, and yes, it makes sense, of course, as there seems to be 2 occasions between work being done, i.e. the new head fitted and new gaskets and sealer, you're getting 2 oil leaks at the same time. Look at the breathing issues first, which sounds very good advice. So thanks for that, and thanks for getting back to me so quickly. Well, that's it folks for this one. Sorry it's not a nice ride around the countryside on a sunny day, which it has been, and I went out yesterday for the 2nd time around Staffordshire to do this. But as I say, it failed again. I've ordered some new microphones. Let's hope it's not the adapter. Bye for now.